Okay, I've gone ahead and pulled up a couple of charts. This is cross sections of green roofs. And here's another one. And you can actually see this is a little bit, here's a metal decking. It doesn't have concrete on it. It's not a composite deck with the insulation directly on it. So we could be looking at actually not even needing to have a concrete surface to it, just a composite decking or just the decking itself. But this is a proprietary system to allow for drainage. This is a EPDM rubber membrane to seal the water in the roof. And then we have our soil and our growies, whatever they be, sedums or grasses. And then there's another example here where we have different thicknesses of assemblies, you know, from the types of size of plants and the amount of soil. But at a minimum, which I'm thinking we're going to do for this project, we're looking at least a 2-inch soil mix and a 2-inch drainage area, this 1/8 inch separation fabric. I'm not really all that concerned with getting every detail right here. It's important to note how much it weighs per pound. Snow loads are typically in the 50-pound range, so these are like these add another half of that amount of weight to our roof system. We're not required to engineer it. I just want us to think about that those kind of requirements going forward. Reason we're looking at the details of the roof or thinking about the structural issues. So let's go back to our Revit drawing with this 2-inch and 2-inch in mind and create now our green covering system. Let's go ahead and realistically render this. So now we can see our insulation and our concrete roof deck. And obviously this could just be a metal spanning and no concrete, but we'll leave it that way for this run of our project. And now we're going to put our green roof over the top of this. If we go to our 3D view and render it, we really don't have any dealings with the edge conditions of our, we also have an extra truss out here, it looks like. Let me go ahead and delete that. And we're going to end up putting some kind of a parapet or other condition on this, and we'll attach that towards the end here. So let's go ahead now and think about that green roof that we want to put in, and we can define that as a roof structure and or a floor structure. So let's try to do it as a roof structure, and we'll do a roof by footprint. And obviously I don't have a view right now that we, and we'll do a roof by footprint. We don't want to define any slope to it. We really don't want to have any overhang either. And we're just going to make a rectangle just right over the top of the other one. Click that closed. We just started with our 24-inch roof. That's okay. We'll go to our section view so we can look at it. And it's actually not giving any warnings about interfering for some reason. Roofs and floors, I guess, can intersect with each other. So I'm going to go ahead now and edit this type. And instead of calling it the basic roof, I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to call it the green, I don't know, grass and soil. I don't want to call it green roof as if it was a complete assembly, but it's the grass and soil of that. And I'll go OK, and we'll go to edit. And we'll go ahead now and delete a lot of these. So I'll delete that, delete that, delete that. Won't let me. We'll just rename that one. And we'll insert 2 more. The top layer, we're going to call it the grass layer. We'll make that really tiny. Let's make it 0.25 inches. Well, actually, let's make it an inch. 1 inch. And we'll go out and find some grass. Then we have that 2-inch soil layer. So we'll go out and find soil. I'll call earth. I think earth will show up. And we'll go OK. And we want that to be 2 inches thick. Then we have this other element, which is like the drainage plane, and I'm gonna use mulch for that. although that wouldn't be what you'd actually use, but it'll give a nice tone to the whole thing, just to differentiate it. I think I have mulch in my browser. Oops. Okay, so now our whole assembly is going to come up to be 5 inches. And now we just have to get it in the right location. And it's sitting back there. Let me just, there it is. And we want to offset that. It looks like we need to, well, let me just start by getting it out of the way here. Let's move it up a foot first. All right, so it looks like we have a 1 inch gap. So I'll go ahead and change this to 11 inches. Okay, so now we have our built-up system, and we could actually then go ahead and annotate it. We have our composite floor system on top of our truss. We have our insulation. We have our drainage plane. We have our soil, and we have our grass on top of that. And we can render that in a 3D view. Now, I don't know why we have an overhang on this side. That's a little peculiar. I need to go ahead and figure out what I've done wrong there. Let's look at the front elevation here. Got one side with an overhang. So I've got to go ahead and edit that. And that means I'll have to fix my green layer too. Or I don't know if it's connected. Let's see what we've got now. Yeah, we got to fix this one. Don't know what happened on that one. Okay, so we're back to normal. We now have our green roof assembly, but we're not taking care of any overhang or this difference of how we're containing the soil within the roof system. And we're going to deal with that next by putting what would we call it here? Let me see if I go to roof. We can add a fascia that has a specific shape to it that will allow us to kind of detail that inside of Revit. And we'll pick that up in the next video clip.